Hello, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Can you guys hear me? Hi, long time no stream, yeah? Good to see you once again. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, if you are here, right, I see that there are 18 of you here. Welcome, welcome. If this is the first time you are attending my live stream. So this will be like a continuous series. It will be like a marathon, if you like it, it's like a marathon, a 4 days marathon where I'm going to talk about the exam technique as well as I give you a chance to ask Q&A. Now, this session is done especially for students who are sitting for the March exam, and even if you are not sitting for the March exam, you're feel free to just come and just drop by and just have a look. You never know what I share might help you. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are here, right, can you just say hi in the group chat? Let me know you are here. All right, I only see Queenie is here. Hi, Queenie. Welcome, welcome. If you are here, just say hi. I want to see who is the beautiful audience that is here today. All right, ladies and gentlemen, come. Please say hi. Yeah. Now, in the meantime, I'm going to prepare my screen share of my second monitor. Right? Yeah, I saw some of your comment already. Welcome. Welcome. Okay, now, yeah, just a moment. All right, good. It's working. Yes, hi. I saw you, Xing Yi. Yes, we, Chan Wei Liu. Hi, Kim Xia. Hi, Pei Yi. Hi, Yong Wai. Hi, Arthur. Yeah, Yasin. Hi. Welcome. Okay, yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, just a quick question. From those of you who are here, right? Any one of you are taking AA this much? If you are taking AA this much, you type me, ME. Okay, type ME if you are taking audit and assurance in this much. I just want to see how many of you, roughly, how many of you are actually taking this AA exam, the audit and assurance paper. How many of you are, ladies and gentlemen? Let me know. How many of you? You just type me, okay, if you are taking the exam today. All right, yeah, I saw that some of you are taking the AA exam, right? Yeah, after, yeah. Christine, Yong Wai, Pei Yi, Candy. All right, good. Kim Xia. No need to show that face. Okay, we should smile. Don't worry. AA can pass one. You trust me. That's why I conduct this session. There are some secret that I think I need to share with all of you. The secret. If you know this secret, you should be able to pass the AA paper, assuming that you have been studying consistently. Because okay, let me just be honest, if I tell you that by just listening to this 1 hour 30 minutes live stream, you guarantee pass, I'll be slapping myself. It cannot be. But the thing is, assuming that if you have been studying hard all this while, and now I just give you some push, I give you some ideas on what are the things that you should focus on, maybe it will help you to pass the exam. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you want to pass your exam or not? If yes, say yes. Type yes in the comment section. Let me know you want to pass or not. The first thing, if you want to pass an exam, right, you must have the confidence, you must have the determination that you are going to pass this paper. Say yes if you want to pass this paper. I don't expect to see no. Say yes. Queenie, you passed the paper already, right, Queenie? I know you passed the paper already. You maybe you can share with them how to pass this paper, because I know some of you are just here to support me. So thank you very much. Now, okay, yes, I know that you want to pass. Okay, so let us get started, right? Let me bring this slide up. Okay, you should be able to see these slides now. Okay, now, everyone, you see, first thing first, let us talk a little bit about this paper called the Audit and Assurance. Now, the first question that I want to answer is, how do you pass this paper? Like, what are the things that you should focus on if you want to pass this paper? So if you have a piece of paper in front of you, ladies and gentlemen, take that piece of paper. You're going to need that because you're going to jot down some notes. Trust me. Don't just watch this video. Don't just watch when I do this live streaming. You will need to have a piece of paper. You need to actively listen and actively taking notes. If you want to maximize your learning, that's the way, that's the way. You have to actively taking notes. So I'm going to tell you, audit and assurance, you have section A and section B, right? Section A and section B. Section A, you know that there are 15 MCQ, right? I think everyone knows. So this is 30 marks. Is MCQ difficult? Definitely, it is the most difficult thing, I think, in the AA exam. Whereas, if you tell me that, MCQ is so difficult, can I just let go? No, you don't let go. Try your best to answer as much as possible. But I want your focus is to be on section B, where there are 3 questions. The first question is normally 30 marks, then a 20 marks question, a 20 marks question. So this is your focus area. The section B should be your focus area. Now, yes, I see that Queenie brings up this point. Past year, you are right. Past year is in fact very important. I'll explain more about that, but you may want to write this down. Okay, so for those of you who are familiar with this subject, you know that what is going to definitely come out in your exam, I can guarantee you 100%, you will see audit risk and auditors respond. Guaranteed, okay? It is a guaranteed question. Sometimes you get 14 marks, sometimes you get 16 marks, guaranteed. Second is about internal control. Right, it's about internal control. So I would say that there are two types of the question. The first type would be the control deficiency. All right, control deficiency and the control recommendation. Okay, so I'm sure you know about this. Another one that we call it direct control. For your information, in your past year, it is known as key control. In the past year, it is known as key control. And also, this test of control. Test of control. Now, it would be very important for you to be able to differentiate between these terms. I'm going to explain to you later. Okay, so these two. Then thirdly would be, you cannot run away from this, substantive procedure. You cannot run away from substantive procedure. So I'm going to show you, let us just use the most recent past year paper, the September to or December 2021 past year. You have a look. You see whether the area that I highlight here, are there a majority of the marks? You see, I'm going to bring up this ACCA computer-based exam screen. So I haven't launched this, so let me just quickly launch. Where is it? Okay, you should be familiar with all this. Now, we are just going to do a quick calculation. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, have a look at this. You see this audit risk, right? You see this audit risk? How many marks? 16 marks. Okay, so I'm going to just jot down here, 16 marks. Okay, we move on. The next question will be, okay, this is other theory area, so I'm going to skip. We have ethics, or ethics, I'm going to skip. Substantive procedure, have a look. Substantive procedure, 6 marks. Substantive procedure, 6 marks. Then, this one skip. Deficiencies and control recommendation. Deficiencies and control recommendation. 16 marks. 16 marks. Okay, then comes the last scenario. Substantive procedure, 6 marks. Another procedure on trade receivable, 4 marks. Is there any other procedure? Let's have a look. Yeah, substantive procedure once again, 5 marks. Yes, I think that covers the 70 marks already. Yeah, there's one last question on audit report. Okay, so let us just do a very quick tally of the marks, right? Just a very quick tally. 16 plus 16 plus 6 plus 6 plus 4 plus 5. So you can see that from this area, the totals are 53 marks. So in short, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to pass this exam, the first secret, you have to listen to this. The first secret that you must follow is you have to master this area. As long as you master this area, you see you have 53 marks on your hand. So assuming that this part, right, you can score, let's just say 40 out of 53. Then the rest of the rest of the paper, you just roughly do a bit, just do the best you can. Shouldn't be a problem, right? Shouldn't be a problem to pass. So that is the secret. So my focus today will be talking about these few areas. I'm going to talk about these few areas. Okay, so now I'm just curious, ladies and gentlemen. Area 1, Area 2, Area 3. For those of you who are preparing for this paper, which area do you think is the most difficult for you? Yeah, so just a quick poll. You just type 1 if you feel that audit risk is the most difficult part. You type 2, if you feel that internal control, you feel like very difficult to elaborate, or you feel the difficulty in answering the question. Type 3, if you think that substantive procedure is so difficult to be memorized. There are so many procedures to be memorized. So which one? All right, I see that. Okay, 3, 3, 3. Oh, okay, a lot of threes, huh? A lot of threes, huh? Okay, yeah, we have one for 2. Okay, can I have more responses? I'm just curious, huh? Okay, one, there is one who say audit risk is difficult. Okay, 4. What is 4, Queenie? What is 4? Means other areas of AA, right? I think so. I think that's what you mean. Okay, so from those of you who responded, seems like most of you here suffers from substantive procedure. Okay, it's okay. I'm going to teach you. There are some ways. There are actually some technique or some shortcut. I will give you a list later. You can try and remember from those lists, and you try and manipulate the answer a bit. You should be able to write something. So anyway, I'm going to start by following this order. I'm going to start with audit risk. Okay, let us talk about audit risk first. Now, yeah, for those of you who are listening, right, let me just tell you, I plan to end this live at 9:30. 9:30. Yeah. So I'm not sure whether I would have covered enough or not. So I might extend. So anyway, it would be good if you can listen to everything that I tell you, because you trust me. Though the thing that I tell you, right, I have tested it in my student. They go for exam, right? And you know what? You know what? None of the above, Queenie. None of the above. Everything is easy, right? Yeah, AA is actually easy if you know the way. Trust me, AA is not difficult. So the thing is, yeah, where was I just now? Yes, I'm trying to say that I will go through this topic one by one, and I'm going to refer to this sitting, the September-December 2021 sitting. Okay, I'm going to refer to this September-December 2021 sitting. I will sample some question, and I'm going to show you how to type the answer out. Okay, now let's start with audit risk immediately. Okay, let's start with audit risk. Okay, so for some of you, maybe you feel that audit risk is actually manageable. Some of you may feel that audit risk is difficult, but it's okay, ladies and gentlemen. It's okay. You see, audit risk, you have to do it. You have to understand first, what is audit risk? Now, very important, ladies and gentlemen, please ensure that you listen to this very carefully. Okay, listen to this very carefully. Yeah. So audit risk consists of risk of material misstatement and detection risk. Okay, let's go back to the basic. Audit risk is equal to risk of material misstatement and detection risk. Now, what is risk of material misstatement? Okay, write this down. I'm going to use a very layman term to explain to you so that you understand. Risk of material misstatement is the risk, okay, that something can be wrong in the financial statement. Okay, that's the general idea. Risk of material misstatement is the risk that something can be wrong in the financial statement. Of course, this is not the official definition. It is just to help you to understand risk of material misstatement better. Now, this thing here can be the amount in the financial statement, or it can be the disclosure. Only these two things. It can be the amount, or it can be the disclosure that can go wrong. Now, regarding amount, this is normally what we're going to write. Regarding amount, it will be either something is overstated, something is understated. Okay, the examiner has mentioned this. The word misstated, this word misstated, if possible, please avoid. Don't use this word, if possible, because you know why? Let's just say there are some audit risks in which the audit risk, the examiner want you to write something is overstated. But you go and say, oh, it is misstated. So every audit risk you write, or there is a risk that asset misstated, liability misstated, everything you write misstated, the examiner is not going to be very happy. So avoid this if possible. You only use this, only use this, only use if it can be both over and under. That's what the examiner says. So you have to take note of this. Now, disclosure risk is quite easy. I'll show you one sample later on. Now, that would be risk of material misstatement. That would be the risk of material misstatement. Okay, what is detection risk? Detection risk, on the other hand, is the risk that the auditor cannot detect material misstatement in the financial statement. It is the risk that the auditor, for some reason, when they do audit, no matter how hard they try to do audit, they cannot detect mistake in the financial statement. Why is this the case? A very famous case is this one. Ladies and gentlemen, please write this down. Very important. When you do audit risk question, right, you look for this word, first year client. First year client. You know why? Because if the audit risk case shows this is the first year your firm audit this client, bingo, it will be a detection risk. Why? Because first year audit, the auditor lack the understanding of the client. They don't really understand the client well. So that is why they lack the understanding. They may not be able to detect the mistake in the financial statement. So this is like a free marks, If you know how to write the detection risk for first year client, you should be able to get at least 2 marks. The explanation as well as the audit response. Now, that is the general meaning. That's the general meaning. So I'm going to tell you, be careful of this. Okay, be careful. A few common mistakes that students always make is this. The first one. Okay, the first one. Don't do this in exam. Don't write business risk. Do not write business risk. Okay, what is a business risk? A business risk is, for example, if you read the risk that you are writing, there is no relationship to financial statement. Okay, there's no relationship to the financial statement. You don't talk about the amount in the financial statement. You don't talk about the disclosure in the financial statement. And you only say there is a risk that maybe the business will fail. There is a risk that maybe the competitor is going to take action and the business sales will drop. There is a risk that the cash flow may suffer. So all these are called business risk, and you are not supposed to write about this business risk. So that is the first thing you should avoid. The second thing that you have to avoid is, read this carefully. The question is asking for auditor response. Okay? Please write auditor's response. So you cannot write management response. Right? You cannot write management's response. Okay, so what is a management response? So some students, when they write audit response, they will say, oh, the management need to do this, the management need to do that. If you write like that, you straight away get 0. So you must remember, the question is asking for auditor response. The question is asking for auditor's response. So auditor response must be the auditor's action. It must be the auditor's action. Now, what is auditor's response? Auditor's response can be a general response, such as increased professional skepticism. It can be increased professional skepticism. It can be increased testing. Auditor's response can also be test of control. Auditor's response can also be substantive procedure. Now, what are these? Later on, I'm going to explain to you more about what are these. But the idea is, in auditor's response, all these are what the auditor should do. Now, ladies and gentlemen, type in 222 if you are still with me. After what I've explained, if you're still with me, you can still understand what I'm trying to tell you. You type 222. Let me know. Okay, let me know. Are you still with me? 222. If you are still with me, these are the do's and don'ts, the very important do's and don'ts in the audit risk and auditor's response question. 222 if you're still with me. Still with me, right? Hey, Wei Kang is here. Hello. welcome. You already passed this paper also, but thanks for coming. All right, so far still with me. Okay, very good. Now I'm going to show you how are you supposed to write a business risk. Okay, so let's see. Okay, let's see. We are going to try and attempt a little bit of the question here. So the case is here, all right? The case is here. Then you are going to type the answer here. So you see, business risk. what business risk? Audit risk. In case if I say something wrong, it's to write audit risk, not business risk. Okay. Now, first thing first. The question asks for 8 audit risks. Okay. The question asks for 8 audit risks. Then you see here they may give you more than 8. Right? They give you 10. You're not required to finish all the table. First thing first, you have to know. If they give you 8, you write 8. Okay, a frequently asked question. Some students, they always like to ask me, teacher, Can I write 10? I say, can. Assuming you have enough time, can. If you don't have time, don't do that. All right, don't do that. So your strategy is ensure you have 8 audit risks. Choose the one that you like the most. You read through this, you cannot tell me you don't know anything. It is impossible. There must be something that you can write. Write those that you feel the most confident as the top 8. Then the last 2, you have time, you come back and write. But most of the time, you don't have the time, all right? Most of the time, you don't have the time. So make sure you remember, all right? Make sure you remember, you write only the one that you know. Okay, so first thing first, when you read the case, right, you have to be careful. Information like this. You see, recently the AA exam, they like to give you this information, If in case if you cannot see, it is 1st of July 20X5. You know why is this information given? They also give you year-end 31st August 20X5. They give you the year-end figure here. Now, year-end, the year-end date. So which means that now you know it's just 1 or 2 months before the year-end. This gives you an indication that the auditor is still planning for the audit. They are still planning the audit. So that's why now you are still planning the audit. Okay, when you are planning the audit, you are looking for issues like audit risk. So here they say that this is a soft drink manufacturer. So when you read the word manufacturer, ladies and gentlemen, in your mind, I want you to start thinking, there is a factory that you can see in your mind. Okay, just imagine a factory. So soft drink manufacturer would be like a manufacturer for Coca-Cola or 100 plus or whatever. So they will have a lot of complicated machine to fill in the water and whatever. So just imagine that. Being able to imagine your client helps you in your exam, So don't just answer this question as if you are a student. Try and imagine, okay, so this, I am expecting factory, I'm expecting some warehouse, things like this. So they sell to wholesale customer. Okay, then they give you the materiality. The materiality is calculated as 153, which is 5% of profit before tax. So any amount above this will be considered material. All right, now you see, this is what you should do. This is what you should do. I'm not going to write the answer for all the audit risks, but I will show you a good exam technique. This is what I will call a good exam technique. You read through the case and you see whether you can identify the audit risk or not. First, a new accounting system was introduced in March 20X5, that is during the year. It has been successfully tested prior to the implementation, and management had such a confidence in the new system. You see, when I read this case, right, remember, ladies and gentlemen, you are an auditor, you must have what? Professional skepticism. You must have professional skepticism. When the management say they have confidence, generally, I'll tell you, I don't trust them. Okay, I don't trust them. When someone is very confident, you know what? When they are too confident, right, they normally just langgar tiang straight away. Pang. Then they don't know that they are wrong, So normally when you see this kind of word being used in exam, be careful. Something must be wrong. Okay, I can guarantee you something must be wrong. They are so confident in the system that they did not consider it necessary. They don't think it is necessary to do further testing after implementation. Wow, so confident in the system. Then they say, no need testing. We are very good. Okay, this one is going to cause a lot of problem. So this is actually a control risk, It's a control risk. Now, if you studied past year, you will know that new accounting system is an audit risk that you can write. So I'm going to you see, this is what I'm going to do. If I know about new accounting system, I'm going to write new accounting system as my audit risk here. So what are the points? For example, I start to think of a risk of error in transfer of data from the old system to the new system. You see, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure you will know what I'm talking about. Risk of error in transfer of data from old system to the new system. Yes, because there's a new system, the data being transferred from the old one to the new one, right? There might be error, but don't stop your answer here, Don't stop your answer here. Listen to this. You see, I told you that audit risk is the risk that the amount can be wrong in the financial statement. You always refer to this. Did I talk about the amount here? Not really, So if you stop your answer here, you might not get the full mark. Make sure you talk about, I'm just writing point form now. It's not a complete answer, by the way. So make sure you also talk about, so there will be a higher risk of material misstatement in the financial statement. Okay, if there is this error, which they don't realize it, then the financial statement can be having a higher risk of material misstatement. So that is how I link the answer. From this one back to the financial statement. So a key point is always link to the financial statement. Let me show you what is a business risk. This will be business risk. Don't write this. I'm going to type it out, but don't write this. Don't write this. There's a risk that the system may fail after implementation. This can result in staff to be unhappy, for example. This kind of answer, sadly, is a business risk. You don't get the marks. So, ladies and gentlemen, can you see it now? How do you link a risk to the financial statement versus a risk that is totally not related to financial statement? If you can see this, you type 333. Can you see that, ladies and gentlemen? Very crucial, because this is the reason why students fail. If they cannot appreciate this fact, they are going to fail this exam. So it's very important, because you see, if you don't get this right, the rest, it can be all wrong, So make sure you learn something today. Write it down. Okay, write it down. It must be related to something can be wrong in the financial statement if you are talking about risk of material misstatement. Okay, very important. Yes, I see that some of you here said 333. Very good. Okay, very good. Remember this. Oh, Yishen is here. Hello. Okay, very good. This is very good. So, okay, you see, this is called planning the answer. I'm just roughly writing the answer first. Let me go on. So I want to see if there's any other thing that I can write. So let me just go to, okay, I skip this. I just look at this. Okay, I want to talk about this, right? I want to talk about this. So I think I have the time to demonstrate 2 audit risks for you for today. So let's read this. Pitch core replaced 2 items of machinery in the production line to accommodate a change in the type of bottles used. There are significant staff costs involved in preparing the site, for new machinery, and in testing that the new machinery was operating correctly. So they have staff to prepare the site and to test the machine. And then they say these costs have been included in the wages and salary expense for the period. Now, this is a very common issue. If you are my student, I always tell you this one. There is a very common misperception. People believe that as long as you pay wages and salary, it must go to the SOPL. It must go to the statement of profit or loss. So I'm going to tell you now, ladies and gentlemen, this is not true. When you spend money on like wages and salary, sometimes you can capitalize it one. Seriously? Yes, seriously. If you don't believe me, I want you to think back at your previous study. You learn about management accounting, right? You learn that prime cost, the direct cost of a product, consists of raw material, consists of direct labor, direct material, direct labor, and direct expenses, plus some production overhead. So you see, this means that if your labor is being used to produce your inventory, or your labor is being used to prepare the property, plant, and equipment so that it is ready to use, you can capitalize it. So the issue here is that they wrongly expense off their wages and salary. They should, in fact, capitalize these costs, because these costs are what we call, let me type here. These costs are what we call directly attributable costs. Okay, directly attributable costs to bring the asset into its current location and condition. These are standard terms. The keyword are actually directly attributable costs. Okay, so if you know the accounting treatment, you should be able to write about this. However, before I continue, let me just say a wrong answer for this is, maybe you will say like, there is a risk that the machinery, the machinery replacement may not work as intended. The company may lose money. May lose money. If you write like this, your answer is not accepted because this is what? This is what we call a business risk. A business risk. So you see, when I write something like this, then I say, so the risk is the property, plant, and equipment, okay, is understated. You see, risk that the property, plant, and equipment is understated. So something in the financial statement, is over or understated. That is what you should write, Risk of PP is understated and profit is also understated. There's a question for AA. AA tomorrow I talk about this. Can apply business risk to AA? For today's I won't talk about this because you know why? Later on confuse the other student who are taking for AA. For AA is very easy. You don't need to worry about what is that? You don't even need to worry about business risk at all. Okay, so don't worry. Yeah, something about capitalized guard dog, right? Yeah, I remember. I saw that post in one of the Facebook group. Yeah, I saw that. It's quite unique. All right. Anyway, so let's come back to here. So let's just say, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to type these two audit risks for you. I demo for you. How do I write? So, okay, first thing first. You see, new accounting system. So the new accounting system here, normally the first paragraph, I normally just tell the student, if you can copy and paste, sometimes you can, sometimes you can't. If you can copy and paste, you just straight away copy these and you paste it here. All right? That is if you can copy. Because some student, they told me, hey, my computer-based exam cannot copy and paste like this. I know some students tell me they can, some students tell me they cannot. If you can, you copy and paste like this. But just let you know, you copy and paste like this, there's no mark. Okay, there's no mark. But it will be good because it helps you to start off your answer. So one of the exam technique that I always tell students is, if you don't know how to start, you copy from the case. There's no penalty for plagiarism. The ACCA examiner won't be like, okay, you copy and paste, I minus mark. No such thing. But they will know, if you copy from the case, they know. So you have to write something extra other than the one that you copy. So you see, I copy this one. Okay, I copy this one. So I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to elaborate like this. So you see, I have the point here. So I will say, due to the new system, there will be a risk of error in transfer of data from old system to the new system. As such, this can result in higher risk of material misstatement, ROMM, in the financial statement. Yeah, so you have to write like this, This is the part which can give you the marks, okay? This kind of elaboration, you see, at least I normally suggest students, write 2 sentences, at least, to be safe. If you write only one, there is a risk that you may not be able to get sufficient marks. So I would normally say, if you can, try and write 2 sentences to elaborate your answer well. Okay, now, then your auditor's response, right? Okay, your auditor's response. Remember that you are writing auditor's response. You are not writing management response. So I tell you what's the wrong answer first. A wrong answer is like this. Management should perform further testing. You write like this, 0 mark. Confirm 0 mark. Okay, don't write like this. Instead, you should think of what the auditor should do. Now, what should the auditor do? You see, the issue is risk of error in transfer of data from old system to new system. So you have to audit this issue. Don't write your answer like this as well. Check the transfer of data. Don't write like this. In general, you write this down. Try not to use this word called check. Generally, you don't get marks one if you use the word check. It's not good enough. All right, it's not good enough. Don't use the word check. So we use some other words like this, right? You will use some other words like this. You see, maybe you can say compare. You see, this is better now. So what are you comparing? Compare the data. Not so good. Maybe you can say, compare the closing balance in the old system with the opening balance in the new system to ensure that the data has been transferred properly. This one is better. I want you to have a look at this sentence. This sentence, there are a lot of technique here. First thing first, you use a verb like this. Maybe I should write this down. Right? I think I should write this down. Now, if you have a piece of paper in front of you, you should also write this down. When you write audit response, generally, what the auditors respond, generally, you need a verb. You need a verb. Okay, you need a verb. A verb is like compare, inspect, review. These are called verb. Verb are what we call action words. It's called action words, which means you are talking about what the auditor should do. Don't write your answer like this. For example, okay, let me show you. It will not be a good idea if you write your answer like this. Auditor need to ensure there is no error in transfer. You see, this sentence, right? You see this sentence? This is too easy, you know. This is like too easy. If you say like, oh, if the issue is there is error, auditor have to ensure no error. So if there is a risk of PPE understated, auditor need to ensure PPE not understated. You see, this kind of answer it won't give you marks because you are not specific enough. You did not explain how do you ensure there's no error. So you need to be very specific. How can you be specific? You can be specific by using a verb. You can be specific by being, by being clear, okay, or being precise. Like if you see this case, I am clear. I'm being clear when I say closing balance in the old system. You see, it's very specific. Compare the closing balance in the old system with what? With the opening balance in the new system. So now you know, okay, old system, closing, opening balance, new system. Okay, we compare. That's not enough also. Anyway, the clear or precise is for your source. The third one is called the purpose. Explain why do you do so? Why? Now, why do you do so? You do this because you want to make sure the data is transferred properly. Okay, so three elements, ladies and gentlemen, three elements. Okay, if you can write like this, I would say it's enough, it's enough because generally the question just they normally just expect one response for each risk. But if you are worried, you can write one more. Because when I was a student, when I studied ACCA, if I can, I want to write more. So I might write another one. So another one that I can write is maybe the audit. I would say the auditor should also document the new system and perform test of control on the new system. If you want, you write like this. Then okay. So we are done with one already. So I hope that you see something. Let's look at another one. Let's look at this. The directly attributable cost for this one. Okay, normally, I will type a short title, replacement of machinery. Then I copy. Pish call replace 2 items of machinery in the production line. There was significant staff costs involved in preparing the site, and this one I copy. This cost has been included within the wages and salary. Right? You see, I'm just copying from the case. Then I will say, then I'm going to say, staff costs in preparing the site and testing the machinery. You see, when I write like this, right? When I write like this, staff costs in preparing the site and testing the machinery. I am being very specific. I link my answer to the case. Sometimes, when I read student answer, they don't really link to the case. They'll just say, oh, directly attributable cost should be capitalized, so there's a risk that asset overstated. It's not good enough if you do not link to the case. So I'm trying to link to the case by talking about preparing and testing. So I say that these two costs are directly attributable costs to bring the asset into its current location and condition. Okay, as such, it should be capitalized. Okay, so the accounting treatment. There is a risk that property, plant, and equipment is understated, and profit for PPE and profit is understated. The examiners say this also, ladies and gentlemen. You listen to this because this one is a common error as well. The examiner mentioned that when you talk about something like this, be specific. If you just say there is a risk of asset understated, you don't get the half mark. I repeat, you cannot just say there is a risk of asset understated. If it is property, plant, and equipment, you write property, plant, and equipment. You can even write machinery, you can even write there is a risk that machinery is understated. Okay, so if you can just make sure that you write something very specific, then you're good to go. Okay, so let me just quickly type out the response. You see, this is an error. This one, the client did an error. So for an error, this is what we can do. We can first discuss with the management on the accounting treatment for preparation of site and testing of new machinery. And assess reasonableness of the accounting treatment. You see, my answer, right, is about we discuss with the management, the auditor discuss with the management about the accounting treatment. Okay, because this is a wrong accounting treatment. So I want to discuss with them and we see whether is it reasonable or not. Of course, it is not. So we are going to write the next one. Okay, we're going to write the next one. Maybe we will say something like request the management to capitalize the site preparation and testing costs. Okay, and finally, review the adjustment made by the management to ensure that the relevant cost has been properly capitalized. 3 steps, ladies and gentlemen, 3 steps. If you see that there is an error, in the accounting treatment in your case, first step, you can discuss with them on the accounting treatment. Second step, you can request the management to correct the error. And third step, you look at the adjustment made by them. If you can write these 3 steps, guaranteed you can get the full marks. It's a bit long. Yes, it's a bit long. But once you are very familiar with this, you should be able to write this very fast, because recent trend of audit risk is that the question may suddenly say things like, oh, the management capitalized training. You can't capitalize training. The management capitalized advertisement. You can't capitalize advertisement. So if that is the case, you can use this approach and you just roughly change the answer a bit. That would be okay already. So ladies and gentlemen, that would be just a quick crash course on audit risk. Now, you have any question you want to ask? Or if you are still with me, you still can understand, you get some ideas already, you type 555, right? Type 555. If you are still with me, if you can still understand what I'm trying to do, generally, I want you to get the mindset right. Just get the mindset right. 555. Okay, let me know. Let me see. 555. If you have some ideas already, if you know what to avoid and what should be written. 555. Yes. All right. That would be good. Now, because of time limit, I wish I can talk more, but I have to give priority to other topic as well, because otherwise, as you know, like a normal revision class for AA can last 20 plus hours. I normally conduct my class like this, but today is only 1.5 hours. I have to condense everything. So I can only tell you the very key things. So just to recap, make sure when you write audit risk, you follow this rule. Always write about what is the amount that can be wrong. Is it overstated, understated, or misstated? This one, you avoid it. Only use it if it is both over and under. Disclosure, right? Yeah, disclosure. I think I should just quickly demonstrate something for you. You see, for example, if there is a disclosure issue, this one, there's an interest-bearing loan. They get a new loan. When they get a new loan, right? When they get a new loan, you are going to write about risk of classification error between current liability and non-current liability. Okay, you can refer to the model answer. Whenever you see that there is a bank loan repayable over the next 3 years, like repayable over a year, you need to split them between current liability and non-current liability. So one of the risks is the client may not classify it properly. Another risk that you can write for new loan is you can write like this. Apart from that, there is also a risk of inadequate disclosure of the new bank loan. This is normally together. So if there is a risk of inadequate disclosure, you write like this. The wording is the same. Risk of inadequate disclosure. Now for your audit response, you just write like this. So I'm just going to focus on the disclosure part. The disclosure response, maybe you can write like this. Review the disclosure of the bank loan. If you just write like this, you cannot get full mark. All right, the examiner has stated it. If you just write like this, you cannot get full mark. How do you get full mark? You memorize the few words that I'm going to type for you later. You can memorize these, you can get full mark. It's a very easy way. Just add these few words. For adequacy and compliance with accounting standard and local legislation. Perhaps you want to jot this down. Perhaps you want to take a photo of these words. Okay, because you trust me, review disclosure, this word, you can use it in substantive procedure as well. And normally the examiner commented is that students don't write these few words. If they can write these few words, they can get full mark already. So it's something easy. I'm telling you now. Yeah, I will give you 5 seconds if you want. You do a screenshot or whatever. So just remember, when you say review disclosure, just write for adequacy and compliance with accounting standard and local legislation. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, done. Now, let us continue now. Okay, so that concludes audit risk. Let me talk about internal control now, ladies and gentlemen. Internal control. Oh yes, by the way, just want to quickly tell you something. If you really want to know what the examiner say, this examiner report, you spend some time, you read it, you can learn a lot. The comment about examiners say about this and that, right? I get it from here. That's why I know. So you can also read that. It's free for everyone. You just go to ACCA website, get this, you read it. At least you read one. You read one report, the recent one maybe. You read it, you are going to learn a lot of things from here. So yeah. Now, internal control. Let me just talk about this. Okay, quickly. So first, let us talk about the more common one, control deficiency. Okay, control deficiency, as well as control recommendation. Now, some students find this to be difficult, some students find this to be easy. It depends on what they think. But for me, you need to know, when the question asks for control deficiency, you have to write this one. First, you have to identify from the case what is the deficiency. You have to identify the deficiency. Sometimes the case is not so clear. You have to state it clearly. I'll show you one example later in this paper where you need to state it clearly. You have to then, afterward, this is the part where students normally don't elaborate enough. is that after you identify the deficiency, you have to explain the impact. So students, sometimes they tell me, ayo, teacher, very difficult to explain the impact. I tell you how you can elaborate. You just think of it like this. If there is a deficiency, what is the problem? What is the problem? You just try and think of it to be very serious. If you can write it to be very serious, go ahead. Write more. Write more. Just write it as serious as possible. No need to worry that you write it until too serious. I'll show you some sample later about what you can write. But the thing is, try to elaborate more. Because if you don't elaborate more, the marker, they normally don't want to give you that half mark. So try and elaborate more. Okay, a common question that I normally receive from students is this. Is control deficiency business risk? Now, some students ask me this question. Is control deficiency business risk? Okay, my answer to this question is like this. Business risk, right? Business risk, it is very wide. Business risk can be competitor action affects my business, but competitor action is not internal control. So remember this, control deficiency means there is a problem with internal control. There is a problem with internal control, and this problem in the internal control result in the company to maybe suffer losses. Maybe the company suffer from cash flow problem. Maybe the company suffer from the fact that the customer is not happy with them, supplier is not happy with them. So remember, it must be the problem. You must be able to identify the problem. So the answer for this is not really, but it is a bit similar. Okay, a little bit similar. Yeah, I think later when I illustrate to you, you will understand it better. Just focus on the problem and what the problem can cause. Okay, what about control recommendation? For control recommendation, right? You have to write what the management should do. Be careful. Sometimes when students practice too much audit risk, right? They come and write this, they write audit response. Don't do that. Be careful of what you are answering. If you are answering control recommendation, write what the management should do. The examiner said that it has to be practical. Don't give something that cannot work in the real life. Right? Don't write something that cannot work in the real life. So let us go through some questions. Then you will see what I mean. Okay, you will see what I mean. So let's see. I think should be this one. Yeah, this one. All right, the question asks for deficiency, right? And then provide a control recommendation. Deficiency and provide a control recommendation. A control recommendation. So most of the time, you write one is good enough. Unless if you feel like it's not enough, you write two. It's up to you. Okay, so we quickly look at this. You see, again, they will tell you it is 1st of July, the date, and the year end is September. So you are still planning the audit. Again, this is a manufacturer of fizzy drinks and operates across the country, so a factory as well. And then you are reviewing the internal control document. So now sales. Okay, now look at this. Let's look at this. All new customer of Pomeranian Co are required to pass a suitable credit check. Upon passing the credit check, customers are set up in the receivable ledger master file, and a credit limit is set by sales director. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is a common question that students ask me. Because one of the past year says that the sales team cannot set credit limit. So my question to you is, if you read this case, right? If you read this case, all new customer, they need to go through suitable credit check, then they set up the customer in the ledger file, then they set the credit limit, and the sales director is the one that set it. So my question is, based on this information in the case, do you think the sales director can set the credit limit or not? Yeah, can you type yes or no? Just have a guess. What do you think? Do you think that the sales director can set the credit limit in this case? Type yes if you think they are allowed to do so. Type no if you think that they are not allowed to do so. So ladies and gentlemen, tell me. Just have a guess. It's okay. It's okay. We are still learning. I want to make sure that you know this before you sit for exam. What do you think? Do you think the director, the sales director, can set this credit limit? Yes or no? Yes or no? No answer. No answer. Don't know. Some say no. Some say yes. Okay. Don't know. Some say no. Some say yes. Okay. So to clear this confusion, ladies and gentlemen, to clear this confusion, I'll tell you. This is how you should approach. First thing first, you ask yourself this question: did the question say that the sales department has a bonus based on sales? From what you read here, right? No such thing, no such thing. So the idea is like this: if the sales department has a bonus, and that bonus, right, is based on the sales that they say that they achieve, then in that case, if you let them set the credit limit, it's a bit dangerous. It will be dangerous if they have sales target and they set the sales limit, because to achieve their sales target, they may just simply give credit limit. It can result in bad debts. But in this case, you read the case, right? They don't mention about bonus at all. There is no bonus to the sales team. There is no sales target. So in that case, not an issue. Some more, this is a director. The director is like a very senior person in a company. So that is why in this case, credit limit set by sales director is not a problem. It will only be a problem if the question say there is a bonus to the sales team, or there is a sales target to the sales team. Now, if you are clear now, you type 666. Okay, a very common question that normally students always ask me one. So to clarify, this is the answer. 666 if you know what I'm talking about. 666, let me know. You understand already? About when you can write the credit limit cannot be set, when you can write, when you cannot write. You know already, right? Very good. Now, is there anything I can write here? Nothing. Nothing. The only problem comes here. Okay, the problem comes here. The credit limit are only then changed when a customer requests an increase. So credit limit are changed. Credit limit are changed only when the customer requests. Now that is not proactive enough. If you are really providing a good customer service, you should be telling them, hey, you are a good customer. Why not I increase your credit limit? You buy more from me, no problem. I allow you to owe me more money. That is better, rather than you just sit there being passive and you don't want to do anything. So the problem is here. Now, this is the deficiency. So I'm going to show you how to write this. Normally, my habit is I will put a subtitle. Some of you may ask me, hey, if I don't write this subtitle, can or cannot? Can, no issue. I just like to put this so that I know what I'm typing. So again, we copy from the case. All right, we copy from the case. I will just copy this one. So this is the deficiency. All right, this is the deficiency. The deficiency, sorry. The deficiency. Hello, Winnie. Welcome. Or ACCA member here, Winnie. Welcome. Okay, the credit limit are only then changed when a customer requests an increase. Now, this is a control deficiency. That is the problem. So you have to explain why this is a problem. Now, why is this a problem? You can say, if the credit limit is not reviewed and changed regularly, if the credit limit is not being reviewed and changed regularly, what's going to happen? Your credit limit can either be too high or too low. So we say credit limit might be outdated. Be specific. What do you mean by it being outdated? If credit limit is too high, if the credit limit is too high, this can result in bad debts. If the credit limit is too low, this can result in loss of sales. So you see, I want you to look at this explanation. Okay, and we go through this explanation once again. If the credit limit is not reviewed and changed regularly, you see, I make it very clear. This is the problem. The problem is they don't review it regularly enough. It can become outdated. Elaborate more. Outdated means if it is too high, bad debts. Too low, loss of sales. Too low, because you see, maybe the customer want to buy more from you, but you don't allow them to buy more if they don't pay you the money. So if they can't buy more from you, then end up they don't buy from you, like they buy from other people. You lost the sales. So that is what I meant by be specific, elaborate, just elaborate. Okay. What about the recommendation? The examiner also says that recommendation cannot be impractical. I give you one example of impractical recommendation. Credit limit need to be review daily. Now you think of it. You think of it. Why is this answer not allowed? Why is this answer not allowed? You know why not allowed? You see, credit limit, if you understand what is credit limit, right? Credit limit is a limit that you give to a customer. You tell them, you can only owe me a maximum of 40,000. If you want to buy more than 40,000, cannot unless you pay me the money. That is credit limit. You can't be looking at this limit every day, right? I mean, who have the time to look at credit limit every day one? Come on, okay? Don't be joking. So this is an example of impractical response. Don't write like this. What about like this? Some of you ask me, if I write like this, can or cannot? Half mark lor. Why? Answer too short lah. Answer too short. You have to make it longer a bit. What about this? Credit limit every year you review. Yeah, I agree. Annually is okay. But is this good enough? Still not good enough. Not specific enough. How do I make it more specific? Who is the one that should review the the credit limit? So maybe you can add on a bit, maybe you can say by the sales director. Credit limit needs to be reviewed regularly, such as annually. By who? By who? Then we know when the client, you see, because this kind of question, deficiency and recommendation one, right? You are actually giving this table to your client, It is part of the management letter that we give to the client. We tell them, look, client, when we do audit, we realize that there are some problem with your control. So we want to let you know, the problem, this one can result in this issue. So we tell you, and we give you suggestion on how you can improve. So we tell them very specific. Who is the one who is supposed to do this? The sales director should do it. How often? Maybe annually. Okay, then maybe you want to add on one more. Any changes to the credit limit should be approved by the relevant personnel. Okay, for example, that it should be okay, Maybe you ask, hey, sales director, do you need someone else to approve? Maybe you can say such as by the board of director. That is okay, I mean, you can just discuss it quickly in the board of directors meeting. That shouldn't be a problem. So yeah, something like this, try to make it more. But okay, don't worry. Even if you don't write this, if you write like this, is that okay? I think it's okay, I think it's okay. Not really a big problem. So it's just that if you are worried that your answer is not enough, you might want to write 2. Okay, I think that you have an idea now. Let me choose one more for you. One more which I think is a common error. This one. This one. You see, customer orders are processed by Pomeranian called sales ordering department and goods are dispatched from the warehouse. Sequentially numbered multi-pass GDN are completed and a copy is filed in the warehouse when the goods are filed in the warehouse when the goods are dispatched. Copies of GDN are sent to sales ordering department, okay, and the finance department on a weekly basis. Now, is there a problem? Is there a problem? Yes, there is. There is. So maybe some of you, if you don't work before, maybe you can't see the issue. But the issue is this one, weekly basis. You think of it like this. When the goods are being sent, right? Because GDN, goods dispatch notes, right? Imagine it. It is a document that a company prepare. It is a document that the company prepare when the goods leave the warehouse. You buy goods, you buy online from Lazada, you buy online from Shopee. Would you be interested to know when the goods leave the warehouse, ladies and gentlemen? If you are interested to know, like if you are buying from Lazada or Shopee, you want to know when the goods leave the warehouse, you type yes, you let me know. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe here you buy online, right? You buy online, right? Would you be interested to know when the goods leave the warehouse? Of course, right? Of course, cut off issue. No, it's not really cut off issue. This is not the year-end issue, but it's the matter of did they give you timely update or not? I want to know, I want to know if I buy online, come on, I want to know. So how did Lazada do it? How did Shopee do it? They have an integrated system. When the warehouse update, the sales team will know, the courier company will know, everyone will know. Theirs is like by second one, This one weekly, can we do better or not? Can lah. Daily can or not? We don't ask you to update by the minutes. We ask you update by daily. Is that too difficult? I don't think so, lor. When you have GDN, right? Scan, forward, send. What's so difficult? I don't understand. I don't understand. If the company have a very good system, right? They just need to click in the system, send. Then it will go to the sales, it will go to the finance department already. So this is a deficiency. All right, this is a deficiency. So I want to tell you, when the examiner, right, say that the answer is not specific, it's like this. Okay, I show you. Let's say I copy this down. So I copy from the case, sequentially numbered GDN, I completed whatever. Now, this one is not sufficient to demonstrate, this is not sufficient to demonstrate that it is a deficiency. So what's the problem? The problem, you must make it clear by saying that the GDN are not sent to the sales ordering department and finance department on a daily basis. This is what the examiner want to look at, They want to see whether you can identify that it should be on a daily basis. So they want you to write this. If you write this, then only they can consider give you full marks. But is this enough? Not enough. This is merely stating the deficiency. The deficiency is not sending on a daily basis. What's going to happen if they don't send it on a daily basis? So you think of it. What should the finance department do? Finance department need to raise invoice, right? They need to open invoice and they need to send to the customer. When goods are delivered, when goods leave the warehouse, this is the point when we need to raise invoice. This is the point where invoice has to be opened. If you let the finance department know about this late, they issue invoice late. If they issue invoice late, money come in late, cash flow problem. Cash flow problem. So that's how you write the cause and effect. So have a look. This can result in finance department to have a delay in raising invoice to the customer, which can result in poor cash flows. I want you to see, right? First, we say the problem, not on a daily basis, not every day, not good enough. Then delay in raising invoice. There's a delay in raising invoice. And then poor cash flow not good enough. Cash flow not good enough. So you see, this is how we elaborate the impact until when people read, imagine if you are the customer, you are the client, you are the audit client, you are this Pomeranian core. The director, you read this, you say, oh yeah, this is a problem, the auditor take care of us. So at least the auditor tell us something that makes sense. So we will change. So how to change? We give the management how to change, an idea of how to change. How to change? This is easy lah. GDN should be sent by the warehouse to the sales ordering department and finance department on a daily basis. Done? So to solve the problem, send it on a daily basis. So your recommendation is practical. It's practical. And you don't write like this, okay? Don't write like this. Warehouse should not send on weekly basis. This one, macam not answer the question like that, don't write like this, okay? You don't state the obvious. Don't just say they should not send on a weekly basis. What is the frequency that you want? Tell the marker the frequency, You don't just repeat the question and say, yeah, the question says they send on a weekly basis. So we tell them, no, don't send on a weekly basis. No. How often you want? Tell me. So hence, that is the meaning. That is the meaning of how you should write control deficiency. Now, if you want, you can write something about, review the, inspect the GDN to make sure that it is sequentially numbered. If you want to talk about this, you can. All right. But I don't think I'm going to type that. But okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is about control deficiency and control recommendation. So to recap, is that when you identify the deficiency, make sure it is stated clearly. And this is a very good example. State it clearly by mentioning that it is not daily. Not daily. State it clearly by saying that not review and change regularly. State it clearly. And once you state it clearly, elaborate on the problem. You see, the problem, we just try maybe 1 or 2 sentences. Maybe 1 or 2 sentences, 1 or 2 points. At least you let the business, the director know. If they don't do this properly, susah, something is going to go wrong. Recommendation, what should the management do? You see, whatever things that I write here is I advise the management, what should they do? And be practical. Don't ask them to review the credit limit every day. No one do that. Okay? No one does that. All right. Now, ladies and gentlemen, any questions so far that you want to ask from control deficiency and control recommendation? Any question? If no question, you just type 000. If there is, you can type in the group chat. Yeah. I'm just going to quickly talk about another type of question before I start to talk about substantive procedure already. 000 if you have no question and everything is still clear. Okay, 000, no question. Very good. Okay, another one, right, is what we call direct control and test of control. Okay, direct control and test of control, right? Okay, this one, it is not in this past year, but it is in the previous past year. So due to time, I cannot go through with you, but I'll just tell you, very important thing about how to answer this. Direct control, you always identify important control. You always find out what is important, internal control in the client. What is important? You have to find out which one is important. So, and then after you identify the important control, you have to explain why is it important. Okay, you have to explain why is it important. So generally, it's not that difficult. Copy from the case. Make sure that you mention the internal control. For example, there is a good segregation of duty. For example, the company perform bank reconciliation monthly. That is good. Now, why is it good? You have to explain a bit. Bank reconciliation is an important control. If this is performed every month, then the risk of error and fraud in the bank balance would be lower. So it's something like that. Just try and explain why is it important. Now, this is the part where I want to talk about test of control. So I am entering the substantive procedures now together with test of control. Now, what's the difference between these two? Very important. don't get this wrong. You get this wrong, I can tell you, it will be very difficult for you to pass. So make sure today, ladies and gentlemen, you learn a lot. I can tell you this 1.5 hour or more, you can learn a lot. So these are just one of the very important things that I want you to know. Now, what's the difference between these two? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, a quick poll. Any one of you in your life, including those who have studied AA before, is confused between these two? Anyone? Me, myself, I will volunteer first. Yes, I got confused when I was a student as well. If you get confused before, you type yes. I want to see. I just want to show you that it is normal. We all get confused. So yes or no, ladies and gentlemen, do you get confused once in your life? At least, maybe some of you here today, you are an expert in this already. But have it ever happened to you that once in your life, you are confused between these two? I can tell you, yes, for me, yes, it confused me a lot. Yes and no. Yes and no means yes lah. Yes. Okay, so listen to this very carefully. I'm just going to use one illustration. You should be able to understand the difference between these two. Okay, now let's just say I have cash, right? Kaching, I have cash. Now this cash, I put in a safe. I put it in the safe. So let's just say, theoretically know the difference. Practically doing question will mix up. Yeah, that's the problem. That's the problem. So it's like when you write, you have to think whether are you writing substantive procedure or are you writing test of control. So you see, it's like this. When we put in the safe, right? When we put money in the safe, now this safe here maybe is password protected. There's a password protected safe. Now, when you do test of control, right? When you do test of control, you are testing the effectiveness of the internal control. So how do you test this internal control? This one, the password protection. How do you test whether the safe is working? You walk to the safe. You see a lot of numbers on there, right? You use a hand, use your finger, use finger, just like Uncle Roger like that, use finger, use your finger, and you type a random number on the safe, and you see what happened. If you type a random number, then the safe, then you can open the safe, control fail, the GG, fail, cow, we say, fail. A good control is you type in the number, it says password wrong. 5 attempts left. Ayo, so scary. So that is the meaning of test of control. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask you, when I say about this password protect, do I know how much money is in the safe? Answer this question, ladies and gentlemen. This will be very important for you to understand the difference. When I do the checking for the password, do I know how much money is in the safe? Yes or no? Okay, very important question. So answer. Do I know when I do the testing, I press the password. Do I know how much money is in the safe? Yes or no? Am I checking the money in the safe? I'm not, right? I'm not. Now, that is something which I want you to remember. Test of control is never about the money. Test of control is never about the amount in the financial statement. It is never about the amount. It is never about the disclosure. It is just the question of, is your internal control effective? If you tell me the client installs CCTV to monitor the warehouse, as an auditor, if I do test of control, I'll be like, can I see the CCTV? There is there. Oh, can I see the CCTV monitor? There is here. Oh, okay, yeah, working, yes. Can I see the recording? Yeah, you see, this one 2 days ago when you come, you see yourself coming in. That is test of control. If you tell me the test internal control is the client sign to approve purchase order. They use signature to approve purchase order. You check the signature. Am I concerned about the money that they spend? No. My question is just, do you sign? My question is just, did you approve? Maybe you are. So yeah, okay. So and then maybe another example. If you tell me you hire a guard dog, you hire a guard dog to guard the gate. So the dog very fierce, always bark like that. How do you do test of control? Go and see the dog, see the dog bark at you. Okay, that is test of control. Then if you tell me they hire security guard, the security guard will be there 24/7. Serious? I go at 12 o'clock, I see. How come the security guard sleeping? Their control fell. That is test of control, ladies and gentlemen. It's never about the money. It is always about the internal control only. So to write test of control is actually very easy. For example, inspect the purchase order to determine if there is an evidence of approval by the director or evidence of signature. Inspect the, key in a random password to the safe to ensure that the auditor cannot access the safe. If the internal control is password, right? If the internal control is password, key in a random password. A random password is called a test data, just for your info. Test data. Key in a random password to ensure that the system block your access. That is test of control. Now, substantive procedure will be if this one is not about the amount, this one is about the amount. Substantive procedure will be a test to detect material misstatement. Substantive procedure is now talking about the amount. It is now talking about the disclosure. Okay, it's about the amount, it's about the disclosure. So the question just now, if I just check the safe for the password, like one of you here say, Esther says this, don't know, inside might not have cash. You are right, you are right. Inside might not have cash. So that one, you see, that is test of control. But substantive procedure now is we ask the client, hey, client, you open your safe. When you, by the way, if you are doing audit, right? If you are doing audit, when you do cash counting, right? You make sure that the client is with you when you count the cash. You know why? If the client is not with you, right, and you count the cash, the client can easily come back and say, you steal my money, is it? And you have no proof, you have no proof. So if you want to do cash counting, you ask the client to be with you. You ask them open the safe. You ask the client count one time. You count one time, make sure it's the same. Then you together you put the money in. You lock the safe. That is called substantive procedure because you are now testing the amount. What Ming Seng? What if the password is password or the XPIC resign password still the same? Control deficiency Ming Seng. This one control deficiency. You know this is control problem. Okay, internal control problem, IT problem. So anyway, substantive procedure can be a few things. It can be substantive analytical procedure. It can be substantive analytical procedure. It can be test of detail, right? It can be test of details. Okay. Now it's almost 9:30. I think I need maybe 20 more minutes. I think so. So bear with me because I have something very important that I want to tell you. Since most of you here tell me substantive procedure, is something that you're not so sure what to write. So you have to listen to it. Password written on sticky note beside the safe. Control ultimately confirm fail. Today is AA, not AA. Yeah, it's okay. You can still listen. AA is the basic for AAA. Tomorrow, come back again. I will talk about AAA, right? So, substantive procedure. How do you write? Very important. Take out a piece of paper. This one applicable for AA as well. Just to let you know, it's applicable for advanced audit. How to write? Okay, how to write substantive procedure. Okay, when you write substantive procedure, this is a general rule of thumb. You write something, you let another person read that something, the other person must understand what the hell you're talking. Sorry for the French. Because you see, a poor substantive procedure will be, you write something, but no one understands what you are saying. Substantive procedure are a list of instruction. There are a list of instruction. When you give instruction, it has to be clear. For example, if I say like this, if I say, substantive procedure for sales. Auditor, you help me do this. Check sales. Done. So imagine your audit manager, right? Imagine an audit manager just tell you, someone, you're new staff, right? New auditor in the firm. Yeah, I'm new. Nice to meet you. Yeah, I want you to audit this XYZ company. You help me check their sales. That's all. Thank you very much. I go and meet client already. Check sales. How? How to check? What do you want me to check? So many things to check, So this kind of answer are not allowed, not allowed, because no one understand what do you mean by check sales, So don't say something like that. Okay, you don't say something like that. So the first lesson learned is that your instruction must be clear. Instruction must be clear. If your instruction is not clear, you cannot get the marks. That's the rule of thumb. Now, how do you make your instruction clear? A clear instruction must have three things. Okay, that is at least true for your AA substantive procedure. These three things. The first one is the verb. You must tell people, when you want me to check sales, what are you telling me to do? Are you telling me to inspect the invoice? Are you telling me to recalculate some sample of invoice or whatever? So that's why you have to be clear on the verb. Now, example of verb, A-E-I-O-U-C. A-E-I-O-U-C. A for apple, no lah. A for analytical procedure. Very useful, but you don't use it every time. Analytical procedure includes ratio. Analytical procedure includes compare current year with prior year. Do you know that? Do you know that most of the audit procedure, most of the substantive procedure, if you write this one, you can get the marks. But not everything, Not everything. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, do you know about this? Do you know that for most substantive procedure, if you write compare current year with prior year, you can at least get some marks. Do you know that? If you know that, you type 111. If today is the first time you hear about this, you type 000. I'm just curious. Do you know that for most of the substantive procedure, you can write this, compare current year with last year and investigate significant difference. 111, if you know, if you first time you listen to this, you type 000. I'm just curious. I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Oh, so Queenie say 111. The rest of you don't know what I'm talking about. I'll show you later. If you're not so sure what I'm talking about, I'll show you later. There is a magic to this procedure. There is a magic. If you don't know what to write, you start to think, maybe this one can write, Okay, so yeah, some of you know. My students sure know. Yeah, of course. This is one of the things that I always focus, You must write this. Yeah. Compare 可以打天下 111. Yeah, compare current year, prior year. That is one. Okay. Inquiry. Inquiry means you ask question. You ask question. You don't simply use this, but you use this when there is a questionable practice. When you read the case, you realize, hey, how come the management do something very questionable one? Like, why are they doing something very weird? For example, they remove allowance for receivable. I'm going to ask them, why do you want to do that? All this while you recognize allowance for receivable. Why do you suddenly tell me, no, I don't want? That's very weird. So I'm going to ask them questionable practice. I'm going to ask them if something involves, significant judgment, if something involves significant estimate. I'm going to ask them, and I want to assess, I want to assess the reasonableness of their explanation. So that is also one thing that you can write. Now, the next I is inspect. Inspect can be inspecting document. Document is something that I will talk about in the second point. You can also inspect asset. For example, you want to inspect the asset to ensure the asset exists, is to check existence. Or is observation, rarely used. Observation is normally used in test of control. Okay, normally we write observation in test of control. We don't write this in substantive procedure. For example, you don't go and write like this. Observe the invoice. What are you observing? Are you waiting for a tree to grow up from the invoice by observing the invoice? No, you don't observe invoice, ladies and gentlemen. You inspect invoice. You don't observe the SOP. You want to see the SOP grow into gold. You say, no, this thing won't happen, you observe process. You inspect document. All right, don't get this wrong. Observe process, inspect document. All right, U is actually the recalculation. Okay, it's actually recalculation. Now, I tell you, there is one very commonly used procedure that you can write in almost every substantive procedure. I know you like this. Obtain listing of something from the client. Cast the listing to ensure accuracy. Do you know that this one also almost every substantive procedure can be used? Maybe some of you know, maybe some of you don't know, but I can tell you, this one, for almost every substantive procedure, you can write like this. The dash here is what you are auditing. For example, if you look at this, see this one, not this. There's this question on substantive procedure for development expenditure. The development expenditure here is 0.8 million. So if you write like this, obtain listing of development expenditure from the client, cast the listing to ensure accuracy. 1 mark can be awarded for you, just so you know, okay? Just so you know, because you are recalculating the total. So it's a free mark, but you don't use this for every question. For example, if the question only asks you to audit one bank balance, only one bank balance, there is no listing, common, there's only one balance, no listing. You write this if there is a list. If you expect that there is a list of items, then you can write about this. However, ladies and gentlemen, this one, development expenditure, you cannot use this compare. You know why? The reason is because this development cost is commenced on 1st of November 2024. That is during the year. Maksudnya last year tak ada lah, means to say last year you don't have this. If last year don't have, you cannot write the first one. Okay? If last year don't have, you cannot write compare current year with prior year. So you read the question. You have to see whether your procedure makes sense or not. Okay, finally is confirmation. Okay, confirmation. Now, confirmation, you write this down. It can be used for a few things here. For example, bank balance. You can get confirmation for trade receivable, trade payable, lawyer. Normally these 4 things. Okay, normally these 4 things you can use confirmation. Confirmation is you ask the client, to ask their receivable or their payable to reply directly to the auditor. That is called confirmation. This one can be used because it is a very reliable evidence. It comes from third party, but it is not the perfect evidence. It can give you assurance on certain assertion. Certain purpose can be achieved, but you cannot fulfill all of it. You do more, you will understand. But anyway, there are some other verbs that you can use as well. You can use review, you can use compare, you can use investigate, you can use trace, you can use vouch, and etc. So as long as your procedure have the verb, you are on the right track to pass the paper. Now, second thing is you need to know the source document. You need to know the source document. Be specific in the source document. Now, what are the common source document that you can use in exam? PO, SO sales order, GRN, GDN, invoice, ledger. Okay, standard, I think you should know this. Bank statement. Don't underestimate this bank statement. Very useful, especially this one. Horse year-end bank statement. You see, when we do audit, right? When we do audit, we can actually check the bank statement after the year end, but before we sign the audit report, that is called subsequent event. So we can check that, we can check that. Why? That can provide us with some very useful information. For example, provision. You want to audit provision, you look at next year. Do you pay the person who sue you? If you pay money to them, that could be the provision amount. If you want to look at trade payable, you want to see whether the supplier exists or not. They exist if next year you pay and you have a supporting to prove that the transaction occurs during the year. So it can be a very useful evidence. So just take note of this. Post year-end bank statement can be very, very useful. What else? This one, agreement or contract. Sometimes you don't know what document to write. You write this. Normally you get the marks. For example, bank loan, you have bank loan agreement. Sales, you have some sales issue, so you have sales and purchase agreement. You purchase PPE, you have sales and purchase agreement. You whatever lah, you what else? Issue new shares, or issue new shares, maybe there is agreement also, but yeah, you have to see you have to see. Not necessarily everything have, but this one can be used for most of the question. Also learn this word, very useful. Correspondent. Now correspondent means what? Letter, email, in short, anything written is normally Mandarin we say 书信来往啦. It's just it can be letter, it can be email, it can be SMS, it can be WhatsApp. All these are called correspondent. Normally auditor will look at this. Consider this as well. Board of Director minutes of meeting, very useful. A lot of times we can use this. What else? Board of Directors minutes of meeting. Yeah, I think that would be enough. Okay, I just give you some which you see. To write substantive procedure, if you can remember all these things, you try and brainstorm from here, you should be able to get something. Okay, that's the whole point. What else? Okay, so now you know verb, source document. Okay, third one. Okay, don't worry. If you have not copied, right, my live stream video is available for playback. You just come to my Facebook page. I won't delete the video. It's for the benefit for those of you who want to sit for exam. Okay, so you can watch back. Don't worry. The third one would be the purpose. Why do you perform this procedure? What is the purpose for you to perform this procedure? Now, in relation to this, the purpose, it can be the assertion. It can be assertion. So assertion includes words like accuracy, existence, completeness, cut off, occurrence, and etc. So there are quite a few. We normally remember it using the short form ACCA cover P. Okay, we normally remember using the short form ACCA cover P. Accuracy, completeness, cut off, allocation, classification, occurrence, valuation, existence, rights and obligation, and presentation. So that is the assertion. You can write about this. So which means, for example, this one. Obtain listing of something from the client, cast the listing to ensure accuracy. You see, this is the purpose. This is the assertion. You can also write about other purpose as well. Okay, other purpose as well. For example, we inspect the correspondence, the letter between the client and the customer. Letter between the client and the customer to see if there is any balance in dispute, to determine if there's any trade receivable balance that is in dispute, which means they have some argument, because those are the things that you may not be able to get back. Okay, so it could be other purpose as well. So this is like a checklist for you. If you can remember this checklist, you should be able to write something for your substantive procedure. Okay, I think I demonstrated to you. Okay, it's almost 9:45 already. I don't want to talk too long. Okay, it can be very tiring for both you and me. Okay, so let me just quickly, quickly just open one, and let's just have a look. Okay, no, I don't want to do this. Okay, let's do this one. Substantive procedure on the land and building. substantive procedure of the land and building. So if we read here, right, you see, Danube Core historically recorded all PPE at cost less accumulated depreciation. However, during the year, management decided to change the accounting policy for land and building from cost model to revaluation model. So for the first time, they adopt revaluation model. All right, no problem. The finance director hired an external independent valuer to undertake the valuation of land and building, and this took place in July X4. July X4 is, during the year. Okay, during the year. So a question to all of you is, ladies and gentlemen, the director says that they hire this independent valuer. As an auditor, you see, oh, they are independent valuer. Huh? Do you straight away trust this valuer? Type yes if you tell me, okay lah, I will just trust lah. Let's be a good person. We trust each other, but that's how we should be. In having in society, we trust each other. Or if you tell me that no, you don't trust this person straight away, you type no. Do you trust this person straight away? If you are an auditor, say yes or say no, ladies and gentlemen. Yes or no? I see one Queenie say no. The rest of you, what do you think? Dame desu. Ayo, my Japanese not so good lah. My Japanese not so good. Okay, yes. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. You do not trust anyone easily. If auditing didn't teach you this enough, let me re-emphasize this point. What you What you let me emphasize this point. Auditor is a very skeptical person. In general, they don't trust anyone. Sometimes they don't trust themselves also, So that is why this is the mindset that you have. If they say external independent valuer, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to see, hey, this person, is it a good person or not? How do I know whether if this is a good person? I'm going to see his competency. I'm going to see his whether is he a member of professional body. I'm going to see whether is he having the right experience. I'm going to see whether is he independent, So that is why one of the procedure, okay, you see, when you write this one, I suggest you start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Some of you will do this. Some of you will copy and paste this, and you write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's okay, but the examiner actually says this. You don't need this. They don't give you marks. You can straight away start with 1. You can use bullet point, but me personally, I recommend you to use numbering. It's easy for you to see whether have you reached 6 point or not. It saves your time. Okay, so the first one is I'm going to assess the competency, and experience of the external independent valuer. Such as determine whether the external independent valuer is a member of professional body. So you see, this one is a procedure specific when there is an expert, when there is a management expert use. I'm going to look at whether is this person competent or not. I'm going to look at if this person is experienced or not. So then I want to see whether are they a member of professional body. So this one is good enough. Okay, this one is very detailed already. We know what to do. We want to look at competency. We want to look at experience. We want to look at whether are they member of any professional body. And the verb is assess. It's clear enough. This is okay. So then the next one, they say to undertake the valuation of all land and building, then this took place in June. Depreciation is calculated monthly on pro rata basis. Now they tell you this depreciation is calculated monthly. As an auditing student, you see this word. I hope this triggers your memory about this word. This one, recalculation. So one of the procedure is, I'm going to say recalculate the depreciation. Is this sufficient? No. You have the verb, yes. What else is missing? The purpose is missing. Write a purpose. Okay, accuracy. To ensure accuracy. Is this enough? You look at the line. One line only, 6 words only. Dangerous lah. dangerous. We add a little bit more to this procedure. Maybe I change a bit. Recalculate the depreciation to ensure the depreciation before the revaluation is calculated based on cost, and the depreciation after the revaluation is calculated based on revalue amount. So this one you see, now you see this procedure, it becomes extremely clear. Before the revaluation, we see the calculation based on the cost. We want to see whether do they calculate it based on the cost. After the revaluation, we want to see whether do we calculate based on the revalued amount. Because after revaluation, there's a new fair value. We need to calculate the depreciation based on that value. So this is the level of the detail which you should give. You could also write, to ensure that the depreciation is calculated on a pro rata basis. That is also possible. Just in short, right, give more information. Now, they say the year-end balance for the PPE is this figure. What else to write? 6 marks. Look at this list. Can you write this? Yes. Okay. Obtain the listing of property, plant, and equipment from the client. Cast the listing to ensure accuracy. No problem. You see, 3 marks, as I told you, obtain listing and cast the listing is used in a lot of procedure. Now, can you compare current year with last year? Unfortunately, cannot. The reason is last year cost model, this year revaluation model. You cannot compare current year and last year. Now, what else can you write? You see, when an external independent valuer do valuation, are there any document that you can write? Let's look at this. Correspondent, agreement. Yeah, very near already. Yes, now I remember. There is this word. I think you should write it down. Report. Also very commonly used. Report. When the valuer do the valuation for you, they must write a report one. If not, they are not professional. Come on. So perhaps you may want to obtain the valuer report from the external independent valuer, okay, and assess the assumption used in the valuation for reasonableness. That is okay. Because you see, even though there is a valuer report, the auditor cannot trust this report straight away, Cannot. They have to be like, okay, there's this report. Okay, let me look through. What did you say inside? You say that you assume that the market value is based on this market. I don't think so, I think you're wrong. But of course, an auditor do not talk like that. But I give you the mindset. This is the skepticism that they should have. They cannot be like, oh, I get the value report. Since value report, this one professional, we agree the figure, okay, done, cow team, then we go back home. No, you can't do that. That is not a good auditor. A good auditor is the one that says, oh, the report, yeah, looks nice. Let me read. Let me read. Oh, your assumption is like this. Okay, I think makes sense. It is not right like that. Then you have to discuss with the valuer. And you ask them, hey, this one, why you say like that? No, I don't think so. So these are the process that auditor should do. Now you know, auditor not easy, not easy. Who think auditor easy? That's why auditor work until late at night. They always do OT. Lots of things to do. But what to do? You are doing something for the better goods of the humankind. You do audit so that the shareholder can be happy, right? So, okay, that is the value report. Now, what else can you write? You see, maybe you can start and think of it. Now, what about the accounting treatment? Revaluation goes to where? It goes to OCI. It goes to other comprehensive income. Revaluation goes to revaluation surplus. Maybe you can say recalculate the gain or loss on revaluation, okay, and agree this amount to the amount recognized in the revaluation surplus or other comprehensive income. So you see, we recalculate the gain or loss on revaluation. Then we agree this to the revaluation surplus. That's okay, you know. So we recalculate and we see whether did the client do this properly or not. Now, last thing, the last bonus that I want to give to all of you today is, if you really don't know what to write, you write this as the last procedure. Look at this. Review the disclosure of the revaluation of PPE. Then the last few words is the word that I asked you to remember, right? For adequacy and compliance with accounting standard and local legislation. Now, most of the audit substantive procedure, you can write this, but unfortunately, some of them cannot. Okay, some of them cannot. For example, let me just go to the next question. I'll tell you quickly on why sometimes cannot. You see this one, the question asks for the exception noted in the circularization. Okay, they ask for the exception noted during the circularization. They are asking you about this. This one is not asking you about disclosure, right? So you cannot write disclosure. But can you write for this one, the provision and receivable? Yeah, maybe you can, you know, because maybe you can. There should be some disclosure on provision. Can you write for the previous one, the development cost? Yes, I think you can. So as you can see, quite a lot of procedure you can write about disclosure. So learn this. Learn this. If you really don't know what to write, you put this as the last procedure, last one. So to solidify this point, let me just write this. Review disclosure. Okay, review disclosure of something for adequacy and compliance with accounting standards and local legislation. Okay, remember this. This is going to help you. All right, so with this, I would have covered what I want to tell you for today. Well, now it's almost 10. There are other issues that I wish I can cover, but yeah, due to time, I can't. But I'm just going to tell you something. If you can master this area, you are not far from passing already. So there are other areas which I would want you to pay attention also. So I'm going to write for you, right? I'm going to write for you some other areas which I think is important. Go and learn about this thing called audit reporting. The last question in the AA paper, it's just that in this sitting, the last question came out something that a lot of students don't expect, which is the question about key audit matter. Not this one. The last question, you see, they ask you about key audit matter, in which a lot of students skip this, so they let go of this. This one, you know, if you study it, you will know how to write. If you don't, then too bad, you have to only let go. But the thing is, if this one don't come out, if this is not out, right, they normally ask you about the impact on audit report, impact on the audit opinion and the audit report. Go and learn this. If you learn how to write this, and if it comes out something that you know, 5 marks is in your hand. Learn this. It's quite easy. The answer is quite the same if you look through the different parts here. Don't forget about ethics. Ethics can come out as both MCQ and written. The examiner article for this one has a very good explanation about the written one. Make sure you read the technical article. Very important. They actually tell you in very detail about how you should write ethics. Not to forget about corporate governance as well. Okay, corporate governance. At least you need to know some rules. Okay, some rules. For example, there must be a balance between executive director and non-executive director. The chairman must be independent. Okay, the chairman must be an independent person. Then audit committee role is to monitor the integrity of financial statement. They are the bridge between the company and the external auditor. You know, things like that, the rules, make sure you know, so that if it comes out, at least you know a bit. Don't say you totally don't know. Don't say you totally don't know. This one can come out as writing as well, but not many marks. I can tell you, if it comes out as writing, it's normally 4 marks. Normally, yeah. Normally, if writing is 4 marks, it's not really a major marks per se. What else? Go and study subsequent event. Go and find out what is active duty, what is passive duty. Go and find out, go and learn about going concern. Okay, go and learn about going concern. One more thing is, okay, 2 more things, which I just want to briefly mention. Internal audit assignment. For example, value for money audit, value for money audit, IT fraud audit, whatever. So all this. Lastly, quality control. You know why I say this? Just for your information, after June exam, there is a slight change to this area. The examiner is looking into examine more about this. So if they have the intention to examine more starting from June exam onwards, meaning to say September this year, maybe this is an area which they want to look at. There is only one question about this. September 2016 has a question on this. Maybe you should look at this as well. Okay, maybe you should. All right, that's all. So again, to sum up, very important thing that you have to know is the core area. No matter what, the core area, you must be very familiar. These areas that are right here, these are not core, but if possible, you try and learn. You try and learn, and especially topics that is involving audit reporting, subsequent event going concern. All these things are more important. The rest, you have time, you try and revise. Okay, you have time, you try to revise. So what can you do in these few days before your exam? Do as many past years as possible. If you tell me you are very busy, right? I just give you a scope. Study the past year. Okay, study the past year for 2020, 2019. Oh yeah, one more. Forgot 2021. Today's one, and one more. So yeah, that's all. Okay, 3 years, which means 6 sitting. Don't study your textbook. Okay, I want to make it very clear to you. Don't study your textbook at this point. Don't. It's very dangerous. Instead, if you can spend your time to re-listen to my live class here, some of the key things, you can focus on these 6 sitting. You know very well about how the exam is being asked. You know the answer very well. You should be okay. I think you should be okay. Okay, so that will be all, ladies and gentlemen. So any question you want to ask before I end this live stream? Okay, any question you want to ask? So yeah, how do you feel? I hope that this has been beneficial. Right? I hope that this has been beneficial to you. And you can watch back this replay. Now, if you don't have any question, right, you just type 000. Let me know. If you don't have any question for now, you think that you can pass, you type 000, right? 000. If you think that you're okay, ladies and gentlemen, let me know. Right? From what I see, seems like there's no question. Okay, very good. Now, I enjoy sharing this with all of you. I hope that what I share will come out. Okay, I hope that what I share will come out. I hope that you will get the question that you are familiar with. So for the remaining time, just do as many questions as possible. Okay, don't study your textbook. Just focus on past year. Practice your writing. Oh, Jehan, you are here. Thank you very much. Thank you for supporting my old friends. Yeah. So try your best. All right, try your best. If you want to ask me some questions after this live, feel free to drop me an inbox in my Facebook live page. You drop me an inbox. I will try my best to reply you as soon as possible. All right. So all the best, yeah, ladies and gentlemen. All the very best. So tomorrow I will be discussing similar, but not about AA. But tomorrow I'll be talking about AAA, Advanced Audit and Assurance. So yeah, tell your friends. You can tell your friends if you find that this session has been useful. Tell your friends to come and watch these. There are replays. Tell your friends that are sitting for other paper that I teach. Just come. It's a free session. I don't always do this, but yeah, for the benefit of you, I hope that you can pass. I hope that more people can pass. So yeah, please feel free to share this to other people. All right. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, together we will pass, right? Together we will pass. Thanks a lot. Yeah, and trust me, this you can pass this paper. This is not a tough paper. You would be able to pass. Yeah, your return tomorrow, huh? Okay. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Yeah. Thank you very much. So, oops. All right. Let me just end this live stream now. Bye bye, and you take care. Yeah? Take care. Thanks for watching. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. Have a good night.